Alright, welcome back to the channel. I'm excited today. We've got a new project on the table here. What we have is a 1999 Yamaha BWS 50cc or Yamaha Zuma. What's special about these, at least what I think, is it's a two-stroke. And the two-stroke breed is, well, it's becoming extinct. With the four strokes out there now, and let's be honest, battery. I think this one's worth saving on. So there's just something about the sound and the smell of a two-stroke. Anywho, this one, when I received it, non-running, and needed a lot of TLC, if you will. So I'm going to take you through what I've already done to this and catch you up, and then we'll show you what we need to do to finish this to get it back on the road. So let's get started. Alright, I'm going to start with what I've done already to the scooter. I've already done some work on it and gotten it to a certain point, but we're not finished, so I'll take you along for the end of this and hopefully we get this running back on the road. Let's start with what I've done. So far, let's start with the brakes. It has the disc brakes in the front and it's got your drum brake in the back. The front disc brakes were completely locked up, so I went ahead and replaced the master cylinder up here and put the old brake handle back on it because the one that came with the cylinders are silver, and well, it just didn't look good. Had a one mirror on it on the right hand side, which doesn't do us much good where I'm at, so I've got a new one to put it on the left. You'll see here. Also, the rear drum, I did pull that apart and cleaned it, inspected it. It looked fine. It just needed an adjustment. So the back's good, the front's brand new. Everything looked fine there. Electrical, kind of a nightmare on this. It had the old style turn signals up here. In fact, the brackets are still on here I just put the screws back in. But they were snapped and hanging. The plastic was just snapped on both sides. So I deleted on them just to clean it up a little bit, and I added these flush mount LEDs on here. And I think they turned out pretty good. I got those wired in. There's typically a reflector right here. So I just removed the reflector and the same hole I used to mount these, so I didn't have to drill any more holes in the body. Overall, this body is actually in pretty good shape. It's not all cracked up. For a 1999, it's really not in that bad a shape at all. So we have to finish on these, but I do have them wired in, so we'll look at those in a little bit here. On the back, same thing. Had the old style big clunky orange amber plastic thing with the turn signals. They were both cracked and hanging by the wires, so I deleted on them and I went and got one of these. I believe it's from Scooter Swap is where I bought this. It's more of a flush mount and you have to cut out the back here. Super simple, plug and play. But it turned out pretty good. Cleaned it up back here. Got rid of all the googly goggly back here. I did cut off some of the bottom bracketry here to clean this up. You can see I primed it so it didn't rust. But it just gave the rack more of a clean look. And it's still sturdy enough to put at least a case of beer on there if you need to. We still need to check the lube in the back here. And I haven't done anything with the CVT or anything there yet. That needs to be checked out. As far as the rest of the scooter goes, I did take the carburetor off, replace the air filter, clean the carburetor. It had a gas leak. When it was running, it leaked gas through the intake actually. I replaced the reed valves on it and it seemed to stop that, and I resealed everything, so that's fixed. So we have a bike that will run, will stop. Electrical still not working, so let's finish up electrical today. We got to add some resistors for the LEDs. These are LEDs, these are old school incandescent, and it said they don't blink correctly. You need to add basically a resistor on the front to trick the bike to think that it's a incandescent bulb, because the LED obviously is not going to take any watts or any amps and it confuses things. Other than that, the bike's really not that bad of shape. The tires aren't too bad. It has, we at 1,849 miles. However, the speedometer was disconnected when I got it. It was not working. So I don't have a true understanding of how many miles. I'm guessing it is close. I don't think it was ran that much, but the fuel tank, also the fuel gauge was not working. I filled it up and shaked the bike and stuff, and it just started to work. So I think it was just gummed up. So, all right. I think first things first, let's get the seat opened up. I got a new battery for this. The electric start was not working, so I want to start there. Let's see if it's the switch, if it's the starter, or if it was just the battery. I'm hoping it was just the battery, but my luck, probably not. So let's start there. All right, so open these, you have to use the key. And we got a little mouse house action going, it looks like, in here. Or we did. So we've got our negative here. And what happened to here's our positive cable here. So let's just slam the battery in there a minute and see what, if we get anything here. The battery we're using is the Never Start. The cheapest one they had at Wally World. And let me tell you, they're not cheap. Battery fluid. Okay. An initial charge is required before putting this battery in service. Charge for time shown on chart. Well, what? You get a battery that's not charged? What's up with that? So, the instructions say, take the plastic. This is your acid here that goes in the battery. It says pull the plugs off the top and save them. No, we'll go back on the battery, I'm assuming. And then, whew, stinky stuff. Pull the seal off. And they don't want you to pull the aluminum off here. I guess it just punctures it when you put it in there. So here we go. Bubbling. Guess you don't just buy a battery anymore, do you? Okay. That's it. Now we're going to put the cap on. There we go. Alright, so anybody doing one of these batteries, they want you to wait 30 minutes after putting the acid in that we just did before you charge it. So we gotta let it sit for 30 minutes. And then for this particular, you got it all laid out here. For this particular battery, which is the 4-pound, at 1 amp, we need to charge it for 2 to 3 hours, 1.5 amps, 1 to 2, and at 2 amps, 1 to 2. We'll charge it at 2 amps. And we'll charge it for an hour and a half. I guess I'll just split the difference. And then after you're done charging, you gotta let it sit another 30 minutes. So let's get that process going. And while we're doing that, we'll get back onto the bike here and we'll check out the wiring on the front here and see if we can't get that straightened out. And then hopefully we're ready to put this battery in. These bolts should be pretty loose. Since I was already in here, I knew I needed to get back in here, so just kind of hand tighten them so I don't lose them. Oh, this thing's filthy. I bet it'll clean up good though. Now this should pop off. Voila. All right. So we have our wires coming in for our turn signal. a power and signal wire on both sides. On this particular model, it's the ground, I believe, is black. Signal is green on the right side, and we got black ground and yellow on the left side. I've already got them wired in here to our new LED markers, and then what I just finished doing was installing these, I guess you call them, they're just basically giant resistors. And the way you do this, it's important, is you put this in parallel. So it's not in line, it's parallel. So you want to cross your ground and your positive with your resistor. So one side, it doesn't matter which way, it can go either way, it doesn't care. So you just tap it in each side. They give you these handy dandy little crimp tools. They just snap them on there. And then these are metal, they're pretty heavy to dissipate any heat. And what I'm thinking on this setup, I'm gonna try to self-tap these. I think I'm gonna mount them right here, one on each side. Of course you have one on each light. So I'm thinking something like that, just to keep them up and out of the way. Let me grab a self-tapper here and see if we can't get that in there. Doesn't have to be perfect, you know. Be careful not to snap the bolt. Oh yeah, there we go. That'll work. It's on there tight. And it's nice, it's connected to another piece of solid steel, so it'll help keep it cool. Get the other side on a minute. The battery is boiling over there, so hopefully it'll be ready for us here in a little bit. There it is. Tight. Okay. Now, sure all these are tight. Reinstall the headlight plug. I think we're good in here for now. The other issue we're having, so we'll check those out once the battery's in and see if we got those hooked up correctly. I noticed when I'm sitting on it, it's not, the steering is off. In other words, you're turning slightly to the right to go straight. So I need an alignment. And that's gonna really bother me if it's not right. So let's see if we can't dig into that. There's a double nut on here, and then it looks like a head race right here, bearing. Maybe we loosen one of these up and see if we can't get that handlebar to turn and tighten it up when it's straight. What I'm seeing here is maybe if I loosen, there's a bolt, it looks like it's clamped here. I wonder if I loosen that, if that would be enough just to, instead of messing with the race here. Because that probably tightens it vertically to keep it tight, which it doesn't have much slop that way. It's just the steering. So let's start, I'm gonna start by taking this bolt and loosening it up. And let's see if we can't pry on it and get that bar straight. That's a 14 mil, looks like. There's not much room in here at all. I could probably take off that. You know what? Let's try to take this panel off. Should just pop off here. Yeah. Just pops off. Just got some clips. Just be careful. Now we got room. So the bolt we're looking at is just like a bicycle. It's right here. Let's see if we can't All right, let's see if that does it. Tire straight. Oh yeah, for sure. It'll be better than what it was, I think. Tighten her down with all the torques. Yeah, that looks better. We'll know when we get on it and ride it, but that definitely feels and looks like it's gonna be better. I think what we'll do next is let's vacuum out the mouse house in here. Get ready for our battery. Check the oil. About half full. It's all right for now. Looks fine. Vacuum this out, try to clean it up a little bit, and get the battery in here, and then we can see if our electrical is working. These are loose. I don't know why. I don't even know what they go to. Well, they're the bump stops, I think, for the seat. Huh, wonder why they're loose. Alright, I'm gonna get a little degreaser. Let's try to clean this up. And then maybe let's get these tight. I mean, they're about ready to fall off. You can see where the seat is worn, where they're sitting on there. This one's hardly even touching, so we gotta tighten those up. My choice of degreaser today, Simple Green, because it's what I got. You guys have seen me use Simple Green before. I've always been a big fan. Smells good, works good. Don't see any need to go anywhere else. That's already a lot better. Look at the grime gotten off there. Maybe we'll be able to see the oil in here if I actually get some of this grime off here. Makes you wonder, why is there so much oil up here, doesn't it? I mean, it's common to have some, but my goodness, this is a lot. There's the full line. Couldn't even see the full line before. So, just below it, so we're good. Let's tighten down these seat posts here a minute. 8mm. Wow, they're really loose. Holy cow. Seat latch looks to be, honestly, not much wear on it at all. I'm gonna spray some WD-40 on it, just for good measure since we're looking at it. Pretty good. Spring looks happy in there yet. We're ready for the battery. All right, we've got a hot battery. So, let's install this and see what we get. Okay, I think that's it. All right, here goes something. We got a horn. Ooh, we got electric. Start. Headlighted, but That is awesome. It works. It's idling. I can't even believe it. She is a smoker. Those look good. Really good. A lot brighter. Try the other side. Oh yeah. Woo. She's really smoking. Turn signal works. High beams. Horn. Alright, I'm going to take my multimeter a minute. I want to start this up again and let's check and see if we're charging. Let's see if we're... Yeah, 13. Almost 14 at idle. So it's charging. That's good. All right. Success. We've got a running operating bike. I think it's time we give this a little treatment now. Let's clean this bad boy up. This is a 10 millimeter. Most everything on here is a 10 millimeter, it seems like. Good. This is still loose. I gotta figure that out yet. This piece here is really loose. I found this screw. I think there's two of them that are supposed to go in here that it's missing. And because of that, straight up here. Seems to have grabbed. Yeah, there we go. That's tight. Okay, so there's a gap. This won't quite pinch together, and I think it's because this piece, I already cut it once, is still rubbing on this new master brake cylinder is slightly different than the original. So this used to come out here and flare, and I cut it there, but I think it's still too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, I think, snip it here. I'll just start with this. It's not so bad. Definitely helped a little bit. That's better. You can still see it's not quite closing. This piece here won't drop enough because of the setup of this new master. But I mean, it's not going to fall off, so we'll call that good enough for now. All right, let's check the gear lube a minute. Should just be right here, this cap. All right, let's see what we got in there. Oh yeah, there's some in there. It's not too bad. Probably could be changed after a little bit, but. All right, well, here's where we're at. We have a running, fully functional scooter now. although it's very dirty. I think the next step will be clean it, but we have fresh battery. It is charging about 13.5 volts at idle, 13.9 when I rev it. So 12 volt battery, that means it's keeping its charge. We got lights working, which I'm really happy how those turned out. Pretty much everything back together. Check the air pressure, oil and everything we checked. We're good there. I think I'm gonna go ahead and let's clean it. It's still raining, so I'm gonna wipe it down, maybe polish it a little bit, and then let's see if we can get a break in the rain and see what this will do top speed wise. So. Look at that, just literally years of dust caked on there. Well, I can't believe it. Look at that. It's even got a little bit of its, I don't know if you want to call it that 90s candy flavor in it, you know, the sparkly a little bit. I don't know if you can see it on there. This is just wiped it down with some simple green. That's all I've done. I haven't buffed it or anything. Obviously it's got its marks and stuff that could be cleaned a little better. And looks like there's some dull here. Maybe it was rubbing where it was stored. That's too bad. But the rest of this is really in good shape. Dash cleaned up nice. And look at the seat. I mean, it's like brand new. It's like nobody's ever sat on it. There's hardly any marks on it at all. No wear. Even the floorboard cleaned up. Really pretty nice unit. So let's get her out on the road a minute and let's see what this thing will do. Alright, first drive in at least 2 years. See if we have brakes. Yeah, we got brakes. Well, there you have it. 1999 Zuma, back on the road. Steering is perfect. We got that set just right. And stop's good. She's ready to ride for the summer. So, again, appreciate everybody so much. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, whatever you feel to do. And we'll see you next time.